My neighbor called and said this broke on his mower deck, so we're going to do a quick job of fixing that. And then while I'm at it, my own mower deck is in need of repair. I decided to set aside Saturday to do these repairs. Compared to my neighbor's deck, isn't that bad. That's a brand new spindle, guys, and it's already shot. All right, let me cut the welder on and grab a handful of rod. That didn't sound right. Had to get my persuader. Well, that helped. Down here at the bottom, getting about 15 3/4. Up here on the top, I got it tapped right in at 15 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the backside with some weld after I chisel it a little bit, clean it up, and he ought to be good to go. Other than scratching my truck right there, we did all right. I'm going to deliver this and get back up here and get on my mower now. Always ground your welder to the part you're welding and not the truck. And don't ask me how I know. Someone's got the right idea. He's made him a cave in that sand, and it's nice and cool down there. Thanks, sand. The mold's out today. I got all that cleared up yesterday. I was able to roll it up under my trolley and easily get to everything. I could go up higher if I want to, but basically all I'm going to be doing is working on this deck. Let me show you what I'm trying to fix. See all that crap? Now this is a factory plate welded over that, and before this gets any worse, I'm going to go ahead and needle scale all this and clean it up the best I can. And it's got to be pulled up. If you look right here, you'll see it's dropped about 1/8 of an inch, so I got to draw that back up too. But it goes all the way around. Very nasty mess. And I'm going to go ahead and clean all this out and make sure I don't have any other places like that that are fixing to give way. Okay guys, so this piece right here is loose right now. I have to pull up on this piece and make sure it's setting good and flat on there. Right now it's not. As I pry up on this pulley though, that'll pull this up. Now once I get that welded on this side and this side, I'm going to have to drive a wedge under this end of it and elevate it 1/8 of an inch. And that should pull us back up here. Should. And I'm going to tell you that this is not the way I would like to do it. I need a haircut bad. This is not the way I'd like. This is not the preferred way to fix anything. I have a lawnmower that has, everything on it is going out except for the engine, which is fairly new. In the meantime, I'm not going to shut down what I'm doing to completely rebuild this whole deck. Now to do this right, all the sheet metal would have to come off, every bit of it, and then all this would have to be rebuilt. And I'm not going to waste my time on that. We're going to reinforce this. I'm going to weld up a plate over this, try to keep the rocks and sand from getting sucked up through here and hitting me in the head. And I'm going to be done with it. Now I'm going to do this here, and I may go ahead and do it down there too. Now, my pulleys are high enough to where the belt will go over it, but the spring, the tensioner for my idler, it has to have clearance. So that's the only reason this piece doesn't come on down here and have more surface area to hold. So I took my wood chisel, that's the right tool for the job, and I jammed it up under there to bring it up some. That should stabilize that overall plane and keep it parallel to that plane, so the best I can. Now, all I'm going to do is just cut some little short strips of sheet metal and cover those holes, tack weld it the best I can. I am going to come down here and put a good bead there. It looks like I got enough material to go ahead and at least get an anchor point there. So that's all I'm going to do. I was able to fill that big crack in all the way up to there. I went ahead and put a plate on and tacked it. This is a temporary fix, guys. This I am not trying to impress you with my welding skills, because they're terrible. But like I said earlier, if I didn't say earlier, a brand new deck for this mower is $1,500. This mower is 20 years old. I had a new engine put on it a couple of years ago. That was $3,000. And you know, when you add up the cost of what I spent on a used mower, then to put a new motor on it, I'm already, between that and new bearings for and new spindles, I've got $10,000 tied up in this thing. If it's going to start requiring a day or two out of my week to keep this thing going, I got to do something different. I'm going to just let that hover tonight. This is a project Keith is needing, and it didn't turn out. I've got to re-ram it, and I'm going to do it a little differently this time. It's got some shrinkage right here in these flats. These are cast iron nuts for his cane mill. So next time I pour these, they're going to be poured vertically with the riser directly up. So that's one of the things I've been working on. Straight edges, we are pumping them out. This is some of the 12s. Those are ready to go. They've been stress relieved and everything. So I had a pinhole show up. Can you see that? That goes into the casting. Well, I decided to go ahead and machine this one because it felt like a wire was going in this direction, it would break out, but it didn't. So that's a good straight edge, despite it's got a hole right there. What is it, Charlie? Really? Dollar fell in the well? Oh no, we need to go get her. Let's go. We got Dollar out of the well. You can thank Charlie. If it hadn't been for him, you'd still be in there. She got good and wet. I will tell you more about this part later. Right now we are trying to get these cast right for a firm here in Jackson. And over here, this is a strut for an old-time cast iron fan. They only need one of these, so I'm going to have this along with this broken grate. I think it's, let's see, I don't have my tape measure, but it's probably 16 inches wide. And we're going to ram that up, and I'll have that probably in next week's video. I don't know yet. They need two of these. And this customer's from Clinton, so yeah, I'm actually getting some people from Mississippi, other than the straight edges for now. I'm forgetting some things. I can't remember what it is, and as soon as those people see this video, they will remind me. We're in the sloppy core area at the moment, and this is another casting that I'm working on. We're going to actually try to cast this looking whole. Now I showed in a week ago, I think I showed actually burning the other one out of the mold, and we still haven't poured that. We were running into issues, and I decided to shut the furnace down then before we go any farther. I think that's when we had the leak in the fuel line. And I have these things. These are going to the Monarch greenhouses. And anyway, Matt is the customer on this job. I've got to get this done along with some other parts. These I would already had done, but I had questions on the other parts that I still don't have. I want to make sure we're on the same page on the others. Charlie, hush. Enough. I didn't get a chance to do any molds last week because I had a table full of castings that had to be ground and stress relieved, and it's really really hard for me to do all this by myself, guys. And we're cranking back up on the straight edges now, but I do feel good about them. Now that we're using the other furnace, I feel a whole lot better. We have been doing some bronze pours, trying to get that job I was showing you in there done. And we're going to have to do one more of those in between getting molds made for the next run of straight edges. As I was telling you in a frustrated moment several weeks ago, we're going to get away from here in October, and I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to be going up to New York City first, is our first destination, and we're going to go to the worst first. We're going to go in town. We're going to be down on Jane Street at the P.E. Guerin Foundry. Jimmy DeRessa is going to be with us, along with Lou, my buddy Lou. I've introduced you to him when we were in New York the last time. So he's going to be taking the train over from Manhattan, and is it Manhattan? Yeah. And joining us there, and then we'll just take him back home. And from there, we're going to go meet my buddy Henry. I've talked to him on the phone I don't know how many times, but I'm anxious to actually get to meet him now. And Henry was the one that donated the South Bend metal shaper, which you just saw in there. That's what I was cutting the chips with. Then from there, we're going to be going across the Sound. We're going to take a ferry and go to Bridgeport, Connecticut. And then from there, we're going to go stay at Saybrook, Connecticut for 2 nights. Josie wants to see some whales. She wants to go on a whale watch. So they won't let Dollar on the boat. So I'm going to keep Dollar with me while she enjoys her whale tour. Now, with that said, if any of you got a sailboat and you're in the Atlantic, we're going to go all the way to Lebec, Maine. And we're going to stay there at least one night. We're also going to go to Elliott, Maine, where my buddy Josh lives. He owns Green Foundry. I'm really excited about this trip. Since I didn't get to go with Keith to New York, I'll take Josie and Dollar. And possibly Charlie. No, I'm not taking Charlie. If possible, we're going to try to swing through Vermont. We're only going to have a very few amount of days to stay gone. I did end up scrapping a bunch of straight edges last week because of running that furnace twice without putting a new bottom in it. So yes, I'm not going to be able to get away with that. It's not worth scrapping castings over. Yeah, I'll have to ram a new bottom every single time to make sure that doesn't happen again. This is a huge exhaust manifold that was sent to me by a customer, and it should have never came to me. I guess they wanted me to look at it, but it really needed to go to Mike Wiggins and let him scan it to get a pattern made along with a core box. And this is the casting I have to haul to Monroe tomorrow. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a good remainder of this weekend, and we will hopefully see you next week.
For those who have been asking about the Windy Hill Foundry hats, these are now available on my website, windyhillfoundry.com, under stores, or you can click on the above link. These are on the pricey side, but keep in mind the shipping is included. Have a good day.